Okay, just hit the record button. We are here for our Thursday edition of the Next Level Q&A session. The replays are always at insiderealestate.com/webinars, and you can access our full schedule right up at the top right of KV Core, the full training calendar, anytime. Yesterday, we did mess around with some display ads for a listing around a 1 mile radius. I thought that was pretty fun. I peeked in this morning. It seems the ad was approved and everything, but I'm not seeing data on it yet. So I'm going to give it a few more hours, but I'm not seeing any impressions yet, which would tell me, as we talked about yesterday, that I might need to try to broaden any of the topical settings that I set around the targeting. So I'm going to let it go a little more. It can take a day or two sometimes for these things to heat up. So I'm not sure for sure that it's not working, but that's just an update on that. The other thing that we were going to do yesterday was running a quick ad for the niche site that we were working on a few weeks ago, but also this idea that you can drive traffic to very specific micro keywords. And in theory, you could have your Google account set up so that you're only spending money on very targeted keywords, and you might only get a few clicks on the keyword a month, but you can kind of own those little niche keywords. So I thought it might be fun to run an ad like that. And at the same time, running that ad, you kind of get another look at what it looks like to run your own Google search ad. We do have tutorials about that in the Next Level members area, but you know, just to see it one more time. I think this is kind of a fun topic because we're kind of bridging the gap between trying to rank organically and also just getting immediate gratification with traffic. So if you try to rank organically, you're going to take a while. You know what? Did I share, guys? Oh my goodness. I do this sometimes. Can you see my screen? Sorry if you couldn't. I'm on a new laptop, a different laptop than I usually am. So just look different. Nobody's saying you can't see my screen. Okay. So let's go ahead and do that. The first where I'll start is by just showing the St. Petersburg, Florida condosforsale.com site. I am going to do a quick little SEO trick and share with you guys. I want to see if this site is picked up by Google at all. It is built on a Google site, so it should be, but I'm going to type site : and then the URL right here. And yes, it is picked up. It does seem to only have the one homepage so far showing in the index, but the title tag here, this is the main kind of tag for the page, is St. Petersburg, Florida condos. And then the meta description is here and it is indexed. Now, again, it can take a while to rank one of these sites. And there's probably some other things I want to do. Maybe I'll build a couple of backlinks to it, things like that. But, you know, we've got it established. But while we're waiting for it to start to get a little bit of traffic for us, what I'd like to do is just immediately see if I can get traffic to the site and get it to convert. So that's the ad that we're going to run today. Would somebody do me a favor and just say, yeah, Ryan, I can hear you. It's kind of weird. Nobody's chatted yet, and I wasn't sure about the screen. So I appreciate that if you could do that. Okay. So let's go into Google and run an ad to this site. Thank you, guys. Thanks. Okay. Let's go to Google and run an ad. And what I'm going to do is I'm not going to run straight to the home page. I'm going to run to this get custom condo updates, or I can run straight to the browse St. Petersburg, Florida condos page right here. And remember, all of these took people over to our KV Core site. So I'm just kind of thinking, and this is what you always do when you create a campaign, you think about where the traffic is going. And you know what? I'm going to go right to the home page. I've got a nice call to action right here, right? Text the word condos, that's my cell number. And then I've got a few things they can do. They can configure their custom St. Pete condo update, and they can browse condos for sale. But yeah, let's just actually do that. We're going to go right to the homepage of the site. So before I run a Google campaign, where's the traffic going? I think about that for a second, and now I know. So we're going to come into our Google Ads dashboard, and I'm going to click to create a new campaign. So we'll go to all campaigns up here. You kind of have to be clicked into the main campaigns dashboard. And I'll mention, if you just created your Google account, you do have to switch. This is the expert view. There's usually something up top that lets you switch to the the main view. And so if your Google doesn't look like this, it's up toward the top here. I forget if it's under tools and settings or another option. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to click the plus sign to create a new campaign. And I'm going to do website traffic. Continue. And I'm going to choose the search option. And then we'll call this condo site, niche condo site test. We don't know for sure if it's going to work, so I'm just kind of putting that name there. And the campaign name is just something that nobody sees except you. I don't want to focus on conversion. I just want to get direct clicks for these keywords. So I'm choosing clicks from the dropdown. And I'm going to uncheck the search and display network. This is kind of Google's partners, third-party sites. I only want this ad to show if somebody's on Googling and they're Googling my keyword. Now, I will do all of United States. Actually, I will do United States and Canada because we get a lot of Canadians who come down here. And then I'm going to do presence, people enter regularly in target locations. So the ad will show in all of these areas. But when I set my keywords, there'll be anybody who's typing those keywords in, and they can be anywhere kind of in the United States or Canada. All these other things look okay. My language, stick it, we'll just do English. And then enter the web page URL. I'm just going to put it here. What this does for the keywords in the ads, this will just kind of suggest some keywords for you. So they didn't suggest too many. I find the St. Pete's condo one to be interesting. A lot of people call St. Petersburg St. Pete's, and I've never thought to use that in my keywords when targeting. So that is interesting. But the other thing I want to do is I want to go back into a keyword research tool. There's a lot of these things. I've been using Jaxi a little bit here. We did this when we built our niche site. There's Ahrefs. There's a lot of these tools. Keywords everywhere. Keyword pooper, except the other word for poop out there. Here, let's actually use that one. Up on the screen. Oh, they even changed the name. It's Keyword Sheeter now. SHEETER. They must want to actually be family friendly at this point. And what happens if I do St. Petersburg or condos? Start sheeting. And what this does, it'll give you a bunch of condos, associated keywords that you can run ads for. But what I like about Jaxi is I can come here. This is my whole domain, St. Petersburg, Florida condos for sale. And I'll actually show or attempt to show the assumed traffic that ranking would get and how many impressions and people are searching. So you can see our main domain, if we rank #1, it's saying we'll get 28 clicks a month. So I can start to go ahead and run and target these keywords by putting that in the keyword box at Google. So come back to Google. I'll go ahead and do St. Pete's condo. That's fun. And then I'll do the main direct match. So I'm putting little brackets around. That's what makes it direct match. This is exactly what somebody types in when I put the brackets around it. Make this bigger for you guys to see. When I put parentheses, that says, hey, any keyword that's searched that has St. Pete's condo in it, but it doesn't have to be exactly that. They could say big St. Pete's condo or St. Pete's condo on the beach. So I'm just going to go with a few of these direct matches from Jaxi. Just for demo's sake. But the idea here is that you can get really targeted about the exact lead that you're generating, right? That you're trying to generate. It's somebody just specifically searching this. They're not searching homes, it's not vague. They're looking for a condo to buy, right? And you can see the numbers of people searching right here. Here's St. Petersburg, Florida waterfront condos. Like so. So by doing the exact match, I'll get less clicks, but they'll be very targeted clicks. And you can see here, it says 30 weekly clicks, 470.57 a click. This is the assumed volume that they think we'll get, that Google thinks we'll get. I'm going to take St. Pete's condo out. I just want to see how much changes that number. It doesn't very much. Okay. So I've got a few keywords in there. Now I'm going to set my final URL. Again, that's just going to be the main URL for the site. No path. And then I am going to do something, we are going a little next level here, guys. I'm going to do a little dynamic keyword insertion. I'm going to get a little fancy. You can actually tell Google to use the exact thing somebody searched and put that in your ad. And the way you do that, you use these little brackets here, the little kind of squiggly parentheses. And if I click keyword insertion, it wants default text. So I'll do St. Pete, Florida condos. So if it doesn't fit, like they type something really long and it doesn't fit in a line, they'll use St. Pete condos. But otherwise, what the person searched will be in the ad in that first section. So here we go. And I'll hit apply right here. And then this little pin, thumbtack looking thing, this is where I can say, hey, I only want that to show as my first line of the ad. I don't want Google to rotate that. So you can see it says St. Petersburg, Florida condos for sale. That's one of our keywords there, and shows it on the first line. They're showing you the dynamic. Search all, see all available, hundreds of available listings. We'll just 100 available condos, right? We can be more specific. And I'll put that on line 2. And then for line 3, we'll do starting from the mid 100,000s, something like that. I like to get a number in my ad. And then I can scroll down, full description, browse all St. Pete condos for sale now. You can also configure a custom search if you want. Something like that. I'm literally talking to the person reading it, using a little bit of copywriting juju there or whatever. But there we go. Pretty simple ad. You can't go too wrong on this. If you just follow the template I used here, this is pretty much what I do. I put in the first headline what the main thing is, search a number of, hundreds, thousands of, and then starting from a price range. This template has worked for years, just on the ad creative side of things. Google starts to give you all these messages. Hey, we want you to use site link extensions. These are all things that benefit them. I don't like site links because I think they dilute the traffic into different things. It's a little more advanced, and I don't think it's necessary when we're talking small budgets, as most of us are. We're not spending thousands of dollars a day on our search campaigns, most of us. So then I'll hit next. Oh, this is interesting. It asked me the budget last. This is a change in Google. Usually they ask you the budget up front. I actually like this. This just makes things easy. Sure, I'll do $19.90 a day. Nice middle number, 30 weekly clicks at 457. So I'm hoping to generate this lead. Hopefully, 1 in 3 or 1 in 4 engage and become a lead. We might learn that we actually generate more leads by just running straight to a KV Core landing page or a KV Core squeeze link, as we usually talk about. But again, this is all about kind of running things to a direct niche site to see if we can get the niche site serving us. And while we're waiting for it to rank, we might as well use the site and get some traffic coming to it. So I'm going to hit publish campaign. I'm going to ignore their advice again on these clicks, and that's that. The other thing that I think happens, and there's no way of knowing this in Google's algorithm, the other thing I think happens is that by running ads to the site, it probably gets more attention from Google's bots. Like, you're getting clicks from Google to the site, and it helps kind of index it faster. It might be just a good way to prime the site and make it more well known. So a good question from Diane: do you have to pin each headline? No, you don't. The reason I do it is I like for the flow of the language to follow my preference around the template. So by pinning it, it locks it into that position. But if you don't pin it, all that happens is Google will just rotate it and try to find the best combination. So, this might show up on line 1 time, or line 3, and the algorithm will try to figure out what gets the best responses. And there are cases where you want to do that. So we just ran kind of an ad for St. Pete, Florida condos. That's a really kind of broad, we're niching down, but it is kind of a broad thing. I just want to, just for the sake of maybe inspiring a little more, let's say we did Tampa, Florida investment properties, like you're an investment type agent. And you build a nice little microsite for investment properties. So you can find some keywords that are getting traffic here, and you can use, those keywords. So the possibilities are endless, of course. Yeah. So we ran it here to our niche site. The other thing we could have done, and actually maybe I will, this will be interesting, is I could have run it straight to a KV Core squeeze link. Right? So instead of taking it to my niche site, the easier thing, of course, would be to just use KV Core, build a little squeeze link. So listing types, condos. My hashtags will be condos. My source will be Google. Do immediate registration, generate my link. So I could run a second version if I wanted to split test this and see which will work better. I can run a second version here by duplicating this ad. So edit, copy, edit, paste. Then I have to put it into the condo search site. It's asking where I want to paste it into the same ad, and it'll make a duplicate of this. I'm going to pause it before it starts. You'll see in a second, it'll show up underneath the first ad. And you know what? I think I'm leading you guys wrong now that I think about it. I don't think Google's going to like it if I try to put another ad in the same campaign that goes to a different URL. Just remember that. It doesn't like when you do that. You have to keep all the ads within one ad group going to the same URL. So I'm gonna scratch that. But if I was running to say a KV Core landing page and then a KV Core squeeze page, two separate on the same URL, I'd be okay here. But that is actually not going to work. Okay. Sorry if that was a little confusing. I don't want to set you on the wrong path. So just for some context of what's possible here, the niche site isn't on KV Core. It's the one that I built a few weeks ago on one of these sessions. I built this on Google Sites. So the theory behind all this was, hey, can I rank a little microsite for kind of a niched keyword and have a series of these that might be an asset for my business? They just get free traffic. I don't have to spend any money. They just start to show up in the search engines here and there. I'm not going to get a ton. I'm not going to rank for Tampa, Florida real estate without a lot of work. But if I go St. Petersburg, Florida condos for sale as the domain, maybe I can start to rank. And if I try to game that keyword, was the thinking. So this was definitely a tangent to begin with, but I thought it might be fun to do a session here where we showed how while you're waiting for the traffic, you just ran some ads. Try to get traffic faster. And of course, you can easily run these ads direct to KV Core as we usually do most days. And it's probably the recommended course, but we are going a little next level and off the beaten path here. So I'm going to go overview. I just want to show you the same old St. Pete new construction campaign that we've been running forever, just what's possible. And this one, I believe, is running at a landing page and a squeeze link. This is so funny. I had the hardest time. Like, they give you this view right here. This happens every time, and I never know where to click. There we go. To actually just get it to show me my stats like this. You have to click the campaigns over in this kind of middle navigation. And then if I look at the conversions lifetime, it's 1,093. So we've generated 1,093 leads at $8 a piece. And that's somebody directly searching for St. Pete new construction. So there's lots of traffic out there on Google for you if you learn how to use it. And then we're getting a 12.39% overall conversion rate. And then the ads are these are the two ads. And I think one of them, I'm going to click these. I think one of them is going to a landing page. So I'll show it here. is going there. And if I remember right, the other one, I think, was going to a squeeze link. At this point, they're both going to the landing page. I think I tested a squeeze link. So I tried both, figured out the landing page was a little bit better. And you can see the two different ad copies have slightly different conversion rate. This one, the difference is that instead of saying hundreds of homes and condos, it says waterfront and in town. And you can see it's edging out this one very little. The leads on this one are 794 versus 858. Who cares, right? Either way is good. Now, think about it. Somebody's searching St. Petersburg, Florida, new construction, St. Petersburg, Florida, home for sale. If they come and they opt in through a Google form, that's a pretty good lead because they are actively looking. So, good question from Tom. Do you always have the city as a keyword? I try to, yes. The other way you could approach it, it's a good question. You could run your campaign, and instead of putting the city in the keyword, you can set the location. Right, to be just your city. If I did condos for sale or just new construction, but I ran it in all the United States, then everybody searching in the United States anywhere would see my ad. But you could do it without putting the keyword, the city name in the keyword by controlling it via the location. Let me show that real quick. New campaign. Just go through these options really quick. The Zoom's hiding that blue continue button. You guys can't see it, but I couldn't find it. Hit search, continue. This part right here. So I could say location options, enter another location. Remember yesterday we did our radius, right? So I could do the radius again and say St. Petersburg. .1 mile, let's say 3 miles around St. Petersburg, Florida. So now I'm saying, hey, this is the location that I'm targeting the ad around. And it's very important if you do this, that it says this presence option right here under location options. People in or regularly in your locations, because if you do search interests, people in regular and who've shown interest in your targeted, then it can just show it to people in Russia or whatever, people who've Googled your area before. So very careful to do this. Then when I set my keywords, I could just say homes for sale and not have the city in it. I just feel safer having the city in it, you know. And there's really cool things you can do here, guys. You know, think about if you have a farm and it's like a subdivision of 1,000 homes. It's not a city, you know. It's not a city. It's not a county. But people might be Googling the subdivision, you know, and you could be probably one of the only agents just running a very targeted ad. You might have a little blog or a niche site like I showed you, or just a couple of blog posts on your KV Core site, and you're just running a very targeted little ad for that subdivision. Anybody who mentions that, and you pop up. So definitely a good way to go. And again, the difference, you know, between Google and Facebook is that somebody typing into the search box in Google, they have a lot more intent than somebody who's kind of getting interrupted on Facebook. So you can generate some nice quality people into your database using Google. So that's what I had for today, guys. Just kind of riffing a little more on this niche site idea. Mostly just using this as a kind of a, I don't know, just a conversation piece, for lack of a better word, to kind of do some things around it, you know, driving the traffic. We might build some links from other sites next week and talk about link building for SEO, things like that. So cool. Does anybody have anything that you would like to explore related to KV Core or real estate marketing? I got some more time here today. As always, we do our Q&A. Anything you're working on in the system that you want to talk about here for a while, a little bit longer. Otherwise, I'll take a quick look. Hopefully I don't get myself logged out here. Oh, I did. I'm running we're running our local new construction Facebook ad, and I changed up the auto text a few days ago. So I was gonna maybe take a look see how the responses are, and maybe talk a little bit about that. You guys, I had to get into my password manager here. Yeah, the recording will be on the Inside Real Estate YouTube channel. I'll upload it right after the session, but yes. There we go. Just taking me a minute to log in. I need to get into the admin site for the local office here so I can see the overall responses to the Google ad that we're running. The Facebook ad. Let me go to the Facebook ad and show you this. So the costs of both the turnkey Facebook and Google ad, by turnkey, do you mean are the services we provide in Marketplace? I can talk about that. Or do you mean if you do it yourself? I can talk about both. So if you do it yourself, usually on Facebook, you can actually see the numbers we're paying right now. We're paying about $5 a lead. And then on Google, you can do about 10. Sure, the Facebook and Google options, take a pause here and talk about those. So if you purchase the Google managed ad campaigns from the KV Core Marketplace, the numbers that I just showed you aren't too far off from what you can expect. And it will vary by what the average sale price is in your area, of North America. But generally, you're going to be between $10 and $20 a lead with Google. We do take a 10% management fee, but that's it. So we spend 90% of your budget. So if you order a $700 or I think it's $750 or $1,000 Google campaign, 90% of that is spent on ads. You're paying 10% to have our team set it all up and manage it, and make sure that it's performing. So yeah, usually about $10 to $20 per lead. And then our Facebook, I haven't looked in a little while, but last I checked, usually between $4 to $8 per lead with our Facebook lead ads, our Smart Social, which is kind of a similar campaign, and Property Boost. They all usually fall in that range. Sometimes lower. Sometimes you'll get $3. You get way down there. Sometimes depending on what Facebook's doing with the algorithm, it could spike up over that $8 level. But in general, it's in that range, and it's hard for us to really quote because the algorithms are always moving around. It's different in different areas of the country. It's different from week to week, just seasonality wise. Facebook works. Both of these networks work off an auction system. So you could have a big advertiser step in, like realtor.com starts spending a ton of money in your market for whatever reason or something, and then you're competing for the traffic. So the minimum monthly budget on Google, I used to manage these, but I don't anymore. So I need to look for you. I think it's either 500 or it's 750. This password manager thing drives me insane. All right, here we go. So I hit add to KV Core. The minimum is 750 on Google, and then Facebook, I believe, is 250 or 500. So yeah, it's kind of the easy button. You can go in here and do this. And a lot of what we do on these next level sessions is I'm showing you kind of the step-by-step too, if you do want to do it yourself. So the Google, right here. Yeah, so the average number of leads for both, if you're spending 750, just divide 750 divided by, use 15 as the midpoint. I'd say probably a little less than that, but on Google on a 750, in most areas of the country, you're probably between 30 and 50 leads. It could be, for whatever reason, New Orleans or some parts of the country, well, you might get 100 leads just because for whatever reason, just the way it is in those markets. It does vary drastically by market. But you shouldn't end up spending more than $20 per lead. Is that a fair thing to say? I really can't tell you, but if that happens, then you're either in a super competitive area. So there's a very few markets, maybe the stuff up in San Francisco, some parts of California, where you might see it go over 20, but for the most case, I would use $15 as kind of the midpoint. So divide 750 by 15. You can't do it just 1 month because it's we do require a 3-month commitment. And part of the reason is so many people will sign up and they won't get business in the first month, but these things, you need to build up a critical mass. If you do it for 3 months, the thinking here on our side is you probably generate 100 leads. And even if you are very poor at the follow-up, out of those 100 leads, there's probably gonna be 1 or 2 who are, despite you not following up, will want to do something with you. So you can really get a sense for how the source is going to work. On a sample of 20, 30 leads, it's really hard to know if it's going to work. And our team does have to put in a fair amount of work to get these all set up and managed in the, in the beginning. All the work is up front. Not all of it, but a lot of it. So we do require 3 months. Have you gotten any conversions from using Video Ask? Yeah, I've had a few people hit it. I don't drive a ton of traffic to my site, but I will say we use Video Ask on Thanks.io, which is I'm a co-founder of, and we have it on there, and we get lots of interaction there. I just don't drive a ton of traffic to my real estate site per se, but I've gotten a few little I can see the clicks in Video Ask and like a few little inquiries. So it is it does work with your face popping up. Best tool for keywords. Well, I should mention, Google has their own Google keyword tool. So they have a very good keyword tool right in AdWords. So that's a really good one. It's called Keyword Planner. In Google. So data. It's funny, they make it like the hardest thing to get to, but it's in the dashboard. Oops, that's just forced to have it. I picked the wrong campaign account. But yeah, you can search keywords in Google. Other ones are that keyword sheeter. This will just kind of spit a bunch out for you. So, just a tip, guys, we've done webinars about this. Try running just real estate agent and in your city, and try putting a simple page up with a video of yourself saying hello. I've generated warm leads like that in the past. Just somebody who just needs an agent in your area. And, but you can see this is spitting out a bunch of possible keywords. I like Jaxy because it tells me search volume. Google's does as well. It's JAXY. I've been using their free plan and it seems to work just fine. And then you have ahrefs.com, I think has just a straight up keyword tool. They have a bunch of different weird SEO tools. So Keywords Explorer. This one they want you to sign up first. And then SEMrush. There's just a ton of them out there. I think there's one called Keyword Chef. I saw somebody talking about. Is it Keyword Chef? This is an interesting one. So it looks like it does a lot of what Jaxy does. I want to share a guy with you guys, affiliate marketing dude, YouTube. So about a couple of weeks ago when I started building out this niche site, I started looking on Google. This was something I was super into like 10 years ago, right? This whole ranking sites. I ranked, can I share this? We're all adults, right? I ranked a site like how to have intercourse. Let's have a little fun. We'll smile here. But just because the domain was available, and at that time, direct match domains, but it wasn't a site about intercourse at all. The way it was about the use of the word intercourse as conversation. So it was like how to have an intercourse with a turtle, and it was like this silly site. But I wanted to see, and I ranked. So I used to be. I don't know why I'm telling you guys this, but I used to be really into this stuff. But I started Googling around like who's really teaching this really well. This kind of ranking and building these little micro sites. And this affiliate marketing dude on YouTube is really good. So I'm going to plug him a little bit. I'll just drop you the thing. His stuff, he even says it in his videos, his stuff looks like 1999. He's been doing this for like 20 years. And he's like, yeah, it does look, my sites might look dated and everything, but they don't need to be, they just work, and this is how he makes his living. So he's like, I'm not changing it. But otherwise, his videos are really entertaining, and he's really, really smart, like stuff on domain research, on just how to rank little sites, how to find the right keywords that people are actually searching for. So I'll just share that resource with you guys, Affiliate Marketing Dude on and he's not a hard pusher. He's got like some programs that don't seem very expensive, but he talks about the different tools and things like that he uses. He's an affiliate marketer, so you might get pitched. That's what I'm trying to say. But and the other thing with all this, we did our YouTube series a couple of weeks ago. I'm kind of building these little microsites, but Marcus talks about how it doesn't need to be a website. You can rank anything. You can rank an article, you can rank a social profile, you can rank a YouTube video. So you might decide, hey, I'm not going to build a website, but I'm going to rank a YouTube video for XYZ subdivision, right? So it could be XYZ neighborhood, right, or a condo complex, and I'm going to rank the highest for that on YouTube. Well, if you study a little SEO, you can make a few videos about it, you can interlink them, maybe you go build some backlinks to the videos, and those videos on YouTube, even though you don't really own YouTube, as long as you never get kicked off of YouTube, they could send you real estate business for years to come. So this is just a fun world to go down, and we've been going down the rabbit hole for a couple of weeks, and I promise we'll get back on track, but nobody seems to be complaining. So I'm just kind of having my fun here. Anything else related? Oh, I kind of went on that tangent there with the questions, which I appreciate. I went on a tangent. I was mentioning that we had switched up the auto responses to our waterfront, our new construction Facebook campaigns. So you can see this is the office flow of all the leads coming in for those two campaigns with hashtags. And I just wanted to take a look and see if people were responding. And the place I always go, so if you're an admin or even just for your own business and you want to know how well your stuff is doing at a glance, looking at the activity stream is one way, but if you're using KV Core right, and you're collecting phone numbers and you're using the right kind of ads like Property Boost or your own Facebook ads with text, you should be seeing responses under the texts section right here. So you can see, here's one that just happened a day ago. I'm browsing right now. We like Treasure Island, St. Pete. This person's a realtor in Pennsylvania who visits here yearly. That sounds like a really good contact, right? We could recruit her, maybe convince her to get the license in Florida. She can send us people down from Pennsylvania, and she's looking for her own place. This guy's looking in the future near Dunedin. Wonderful. This one doesn't want anything. This one wants the Gulf Coast, wants a new townhome or condo. So I would say that at this point, I'm pretty happy with the flow from these from the auto texts that are coming through our campaigns. And I figure somebody's going to ask me, well, what are you sending? It is this text. I changed it to, hi Sue, thanks for visiting our site. Are you focused on any specific areas / property types? And I also remember I don't have my trick in there to kill the unsubscribe language. So we could probably even do better. I forgot to put it in. The trick where you can put the word stop or end in the body of the text and it won't put the unsubscribe language in. We've talked about that a fair amount of times. But let's see. Let's go to the campaigns themselves. Andrew, the recording will be at insiderealestate.com/webinars. So insiderealestate.com/webinars, and I'll get it up in the playlist. I need to actually upload this video today, and then it'll be up in a few hours. But let's look for new construction. It would help if this campaign was on. So those must have been the waterfronts that I was looking at there. This one somehow got turned off. Thanks for checking out new construction listed on our site. Did you end up seeing any you liked? So that isn't even going out. I just changed it a few days ago. So it was only a few days where the leads probably weren't getting those. And then on the waterfront ones, those were the ones that you saw the responses coming from. But you can see I have this campaign has one touch. And I'd argue that's all you need if, assuming that you are also setting up automated property alerts from the all marketing section. We talk about this all the time, but any lead source that I have coming in, I always have a search alert attached to the hashtag that's connected to it, because this functions as my backup smart campaign to keep people engaged. So you guys are quiet today. I mean, a few questions. Thank you, Tom. Thank you, everybody, for asking questions. But if there's nothing else, guys, I'll just kind of let you go for the weekend. I'm listing my brother's house. I'm going to be really busy tomorrow, getting it up, because he's not going to be in town all weekend. And I figured I'm going to run like a big open house. So I might share some of the adventure there. I'm going to have this like 24-hour blitz to try to get people to show up for this open house. So I'll probably post some of that stuff to the Facebook group. But otherwise, yeah, Tom, no, there's no, I don't think you have access to the drip, other than I've done tons of talking and webinars about conversation starting smart campaigns. So if you look for conversation starting smart campaigns, JD Core, I'll send you probably the most recent video I've done on that right here. There might be a more recent one or two, but, and then the campaign, there is one in the KV Core library that's kind of like the base. And if you search conversation, yeah, conversation starter for buyer leads, you can add that to your library. And that'll have, you'll need to tweak it, but it'll have kind of, here you go. See, here's the stuff that, now, I'm not understanding. It cannot be edited because I'm not the owner. So do I need to clone it? Let me come back here. I thought we had fixed this confusion. Let me just do this with you guys. If you get that, you might have to just hit the clone button up top for the once you import it still, and then you'll get this view. But yeah, then all your actions will be in here, and now you can edit them in line. It's a lot easier to do with the recent switches. So yeah, I would use that, pull it in, and then you're going to change that instant text. This is kind of the one that I've included, when this was written, but you could change around. The first text is probably the most important thing. Play with that language, because you're going to hit a script, a quick one-liner that gets like a nice, healthy percentage of people responding. And from there, if you're good at your craft, you can get people talking to you, and it's the start of good stuff. Okay. All right, guys. Yeah. Have a great weekend. I'll probably be posting in the group again about getting this last minute open house going over the next few days. And then we'll be back Tuesday with more next level Q&As here at Inside Real Estate. Have a great day. And the replay will be live shortly.